Worry will make you weak. Living stressed out will make you old, give you wrinkles, take your passion. Being bitter, angry, resentful will shorten your life. Proverbs says a relaxed attitude lengthens life. You can be 80 years old and young at heart. Your spirit never ages.
The fear of failing holds a lot of us back. No one likes to fail, but the truth is, whether we like to fail or not, failing is an important part of life. It's impossible to go through life without experiencing some kind of failure. With that, taking risks is very important. I want you all to think of failing not as a bad way, but as a way of learning.
I've gotten rid of all my problems because I have a choice. Nobody wants to hang out with negative, dark, and dysfunctional people. I've gotten rid of all things, people, and situations that I don't f with, including certain people in my family. I don't need no negative energy, homie. I want to wake up every day and smile and enjoy my life. I've been through enough shit, man. Nobody wakes up and signs up for dysfunction. Who does that?
Good intentions are worthless. Worthless, folks. When are you going to fall out of love with good intentions? Good intentions are worthless unless they lead to good actions. Nobody ever had their life changed by somebody hoping, thinking. Good intentions are not enough.
I want you to be afraid of failing. I fear failure. But more important, I want you to be terrified of sitting on your ass and doing nothing. That is what I want you to be afraid of waking up in 6 days or 6 weeks or 6 years or 60 years and being no closer to your goal. You've made no progress. That is the horror. That is the nightmare. That is what you need to be truly afraid of. Take the risk, take the gamble, take the first step, take action.
Don't let the fear of failure hold you back. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to start a podcast, or maybe you want to get your master's. Go out there and fail, but continue to bounce back. And don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try.
Failure should not become a prison house where you're held hostage the rest of your life by your mistakes. Your mistakes are not final. Your failure is not final. You might have made a mistake, but you're not one. You might have failed, but you're not a failure. You might be down, but down is not your destiny.
I have failed far more times than I've succeeded. You will never succeed more than you fail. That's not how it works. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful. You know why? Because failure is a wonderful teacher. I tell people this all the time. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. 946 times since he was in high school, the ball has been in his hand to take the game-winning shot with no time on the clock. He has only made 146 of those. He has missed over 700 times, but he has made 146. You know what they write about? When he make it. They write about when you make it. So guess what? When you get through failing, all you got to do is make one.
The fear of failure is actually rooted in the fear of rejection. We're afraid if we're not good and successful that we won't be accepted. If I fail my test, if I lose the race, or if I fail in any way, that I'm going to be criticized and rejected. I will not be chosen. And people hate that feeling that nobody wants them.
It's a difference between failing and being a failure. If things don't work out, if you don't produce the results you want, that's all. But don't confuse who you are with the results that you produce.
For somebody going through tough times, for somebody struggling just to keep your head above water, you're smiling just to keep from crying. You're doing the best you can, but you put 1 foot forward and 2 steps are made backwards. You're trying, but things don't seem to be quite working out the way you planned. You thought you'd be in a different place at this season in your life. You're doing everything right, but you're still suffering.
So you got to decide, wait. Even if things don't work out, even if I experience defeat or failure, that does not make me a failure.
Creative thinkers don't fear failure. I firmly believe that overcoming failure is a key to success in life. But when it comes to creativity, the ability to be unafraid of failure is even more important, because creativity equals failure. Creativity requires a willingness to look stupid. It means getting out on a limb, knowing that the limb often breaks. Creative people know these things and still keep searching for new ideas. They just don't let the ideas that don't work prevent them from coming up with more ideas that do work. I believe creativity can improve a person's quality of life.
That's why it's good for us to have people in our lives. You can't bring everybody into your decision-making process, but it is good to have people in your lives that you don't mind running something by and saying, man, what do you think about this? A lot of times you're not going to want to hear what they say, but if it's somebody you trust, you ought to lean in and just listen a little bit more. What story do I want to tell later down the road? And so we have to remember that the decisions that we make today will be a part of our life story tomorrow. So as you're making the decision, you got to ask yourself, what story do I want to tell a little bit later down the road? And if what you're doing does not line up with what you think you want to tell a little bit later, then you might want to rethink what you are doing.
Learn from every experience. Big picture thinkers broaden their outlook by striving to learn from every experience. They don't rest on their successes, they learn from them. More importantly, they learn from their failures. They are able to do that because they remain teachable.
Everything you imagine is a preview to a coming attraction. Once you understand that, it opens up a wide range of things and possibilities. And God puts your real life in your imagination. This is serious what I'm telling you. Don't you think it's nothing else. Imagination is everything. It's the preview to life's coming attraction. If you want to kill a big dream, tell it to a small-minded person. I walked in that house, man, and told everybody I was quitting my job to go be a comedian. Everybody in that house shot that down. My ex-wife shot it down. Her mother-in-law shot it down. My mama shot it down. It's 1985. Who you think you are? If I had listened to them, I wouldn't even be here today.
That kind of thinking can help you turn adversity into advantage. It can make you a winner even during the most difficult circumstances. If you desire to be a big picture thinker, then get out there and try a lot of things, take a lot of chances, and take time to learn after every victory or defeat.
What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. Whoever stays down is a loser, and winners will fail and get up, fail and get up, fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner.
God has ordered steps. The thing that I'm thankful for is to know that God orders the steps. It helps me to understand that I am not wandering aimlessly, that I'm not just moving on my own, that there is a course for me to take.
If your faith cannot be tested, your faith cannot be trusted.
I can't do this. It's just too much for me. It's too hard. I can't take it. You are stronger than you think you are.
The only thing more important than who you are today is who you're becoming tomorrow. We choose a life of progression, not perfection. How many of you know that where you're headed is more important than where you are? Life is a process. And the very fact that we're declaring that we are becoming also insinuates the fact that we are not there yet. If we're not careful, we will turn this concept of becoming into a destination.
When you feel overwhelmed, like the pressure is too much, it's because you're stronger than you think. You'll never know how strong you really are until you face pressure that you've never faced. It may seem unbearable, but the fact that God allowed it means that you can handle it.
How is it that many times we block ourselves and we use these words almost like we're in a trance, that we find ways to cancel out our dreams? And I think that a lot of things that we want to do, a lot of places we would like to go, a lot of things we would like to experience, and we just stop at but. That but is a dream killer.
Stay on track. Don't deviate. Don't procrastinate. Don't become frustrated. All you have to do to win this battle is stay on track.
You can look back at times where you didn't think you could go on. The pressure seemed unbearable, but somehow it didn't defeat you. You kept going when you didn't feel like you had anything left. You had the strength to get up another day. Why didn't it break you? Because you were stronger than you thought.
Leadership does not begin with people. It begins with you first. Leadership is born when toleration ends. Whatever you tolerate, you will never change.
When I'm in trouble, I don't need nobody coming to tell me I'm in trouble. I got sense enough to know I'm in trouble. I don't need that. I don't need you to come and tell me that. I need you to come help me get out of trouble. A friend is born for the day of adversity. And if you are not there with me in my adversity, you are not a real friend.
Live your life, make your mark. Don't wake up every day being consumed in everybody else's thoughts. Live your life and make your mark. You're not supposed to be another person that lived and died and didn't do anything significant.
Life was designed not to give us what we want, but life was designed to give us what we deserve. It says those that give, receive. It says those that search will find. Go where good ideas are being taught, go searching, go looking, because good ideas are not going to be wasted on those that are not seeking, searching, well prepared. Prepare yourself to be ready. Opportunity comes along and passes by the person that is not well prepared.
Too often, we're not spending any time on the inside. Nice clothes won't cover up a bad attitude. A pretty face, perfect makeup won't hide being bitter on the inside. A bad attitude makes you unattractive. It overrides what's on the outside. It's important to look good, but it's even more important to keep a good attitude. Nobody wants to be around a sour, critical, condescending person.
And people over and over again, they get so focused on what's next or another season or another space because there is this notion and this idea that somehow the grass is green over the fence on the other side. The grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is simply green where you choose to water the grass.
Everything worthwhile is uphill. There is nothing in your life, there is nothing in my life that's worthwhile, that's quick and easy. You have to fight for it every day. You have to climb for it every day. Does it come to you? It's like one guy said, all my life I've worked hard at being an overnight success. Everything worthwhile is uphill. Now the problem is we have downhill habits.
Greatness will cost you something, not somebody else. It'll cost you something. It's going to cost you some time. It's going to cost you some energy. It's going to cost you some sacrifice. It's going to cost you some resources. It's going to cost you some hours of your life laying down, going the extra mile, doing what other people are not willing to do. Greatness is not cheap. Greatness always costs more. That's why there's not many people who achieve greatness. They're not willing to pay the price.
I've been riddled with self-doubt. That creeps up all the time in our lives. Am I enough? Am I good enough? Is this something that's part of my destiny? Should I be doing this? And do I deserve this? If you're a religious person, I believe the adversary's greatest tool that he could use against you to get you to lose in your life is to get you discouraged and doubting. These are two of the most chaotic things that the adversary can do to us, or that we do to ourselves in our own minds, is to get ourselves doubting, because you can't win when you doubt and you can't win when you're discouraged.
There's great power in self-reliance. Self-reliance means you simply look mostly to yourself. Primarily say, I'm the person responsible. I've got to be the final one that people can rely on. I can catch up, I can fill the gap, I can do the job. Primarily, we're learning to count on yourself. Never complain and never explain.
Hidden greatness is usually revealed during hardships. Usually you will not discover greatness in a person until they go through hardship. The hard places reveal hidden greatness. That's when you start seeing greatness. Watch what people do in trouble. Watch what people do in crisis. And if they fold up, there's no greatness there. But if there's greatness there, it'll come out in the hard places. Hidden greatness will get in trouble and rise to the occasion.
People who succeed in life do the things that need to be done, whether they feel like doing them or not. People who don't succeed only execute when they feel good. That is the difference.
If you do what is easy, your life will be hard. But if you do what is hard, your life will be easy.
How do you think? And how do you get to think the way you think? And what made you think what you think right now? The history that created you is still with you. And even though you wear different clothes, drive a different car, it's the same person. Because somehow our history is so heavy, it's tough to cut loose. We still apologize for being successful. We feel ashamed to be in charge.
See, but will cause you to procrastinate, but will cause you to hide out behind fear, but will cause you to come up with all type of excuses that you can validate your inaction. But is an argument for our limitations. And when we argue for our limitations, we get to keep them. And right now, more than ever, people need to look for ways to live their dream. People need to look for ways to make it on their own. There's no such thing as a storm-proof or tragic-proof life.
It's very important how other people see you. If they don't see you as a leader, chances are they won't pay attention. If they don't see you as being in control, chances are they won't have the trust. If they don't see you as knowing where you're going, what you want to accomplish, they probably won't follow. If you have the image of someone that's in charge, in control, that kind of image is powerful. It helps to win the day. It attracts other people. People want to be around people that are in control. That kind of image is important.
A lot of people are running around here trying to figure out what it is to be happy, what it is to be fulfilled, what it is to connect the fulfillment of your life to something. And it's always like, I have what I have, but I still don't feel fulfilled. So in my mind, maybe if I get this, I'll be happy. Maybe if I get that, I'll be happy. And it's like this never-ending, it's almost like you're chasing your tail, trying to finally bite your tail, and you never reach it.
All temptation happens in the mind. We think temptation is something out there that happens that we see out there and say, oh, that's tempting to me. It wouldn't tempt you if there wasn't a corollary desire inside you. All temptation happens in your mind, between your ears.
Enthusiasm that really affects people. The enthusiasm that runs deep, the enthusiasm that comes from deep inside, created by self-confidence, created by purpose, created by genuine willingness to help other people. That kind of enthusiasm. A lot of it is quiet, a lot of it is unheard, and the 10% that's heard, it rings a bell. People call it genuine enthusiasm.
For anybody out there who's chasing greatness, who's trying to make a change in their life, who knows that there is something better out there for them, there's going to be times in your journey where you catch yourself comparing your path to others. So when we compare our paths to other people's, we don't know where they came from. We don't know how far it took them to get there. We don't know how hard it took for them to get there. We just see where they're currently at. And I want you to be careful, because it's going to be a very, very cautious road of you wanting to not own your path.
A big share of our life is preparing, getting ready. But here's preparation that's very vital, and that is to prepare yourself for success. Life seemingly does not wish to waste success on the unprepared. Wanting to excel in all of the skills and settling for nothing less than an outstanding performance. If you're willing to demand of yourself excellence in skills, to be the best that you can possibly be.
I don't just want to do something great. I want to be a great person, a great father, a great husband. I don't just want to do that. I want to be it. It's a difference between doing something great and being great. Greatness is not popularity. It's not how many Twitter followers you have.
People who succeed, people who are champions, do when they don't feel like it. They execute every day, whether they're sick, whether they're tired, whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's a fucking hurricane, it doesn't matter. People who win execute. People who don't only execute on the days they feel good. That's the difference between everything you've ever wanted and everything you currently have. You can execute. And you execute on the days you feel good, and you execute on the days you feel like shit. And you execute when it's raining, and you execute when it's snowing, and you execute when your legs broke. It doesn't matter. Winners execute, losers only execute when they feel like it. Instant gratification versus delayed gratification. Losers always take instant gratification. What's good for me now? What do I feel like doing now? That's loser mentality. Winner's mentality is, I know what I gotta do, and I'm doing it. And I do it today, I do it tomorrow, from here until the end of time, and then I do it some more. That's the difference.
Credit goes to our awesome patrons who make videos like this one possible. Consider joining them to support our work. You can also support us by subscribing to our channel and clicking the bell button to get notified when our new videos are released. And as always, thank you for watching.
Everybody hopes things will get better. Everybody hopes. Poor people hope. That ought to tell you something. It means the future does not get better by hope. It gets better by plan. I used to have the affliction called passive hope. It's an affliction. It's bad. Probably what's even worse than that is happy hope. Now that is really bad. That's bad. Happy hope. The guy's 50 and he's broke and he's still smiling. So get serious about your goals, put them on paper, write them down. There's all kinds, his goals, her goals, their goals. Business goals, financial independence goals, family goals. I mean, there's so many things to work on this that if you don't get busy and work on it, sure enough, the time will pass. And sure enough, 5 years from now, you'll wind up where you don't want to be, wearing what you don't want to wear, driving what you don't want to drive, being what you don't want to be. Now's the time to fix it. And here's one of the important phrases of the evening. Your goals are affecting you, whatever they are. Your goals affect your handshake. Your goals affect your attitude, personality. Your goals affect the way you walk, the way you talk, the way you dress. All day long, we're being affected by our goals. Now, some people have goals, but they have such lousy goals. The effect is bad. I asked a guy one time, what are your goals for this month? The guy said, look, if I could just scrape up enough money to pay these lousy bills. That was his goal. I'm not saying it isn't a goal. It's a goal, but it's such a lousy goal, the effect is bad. You don't jump out of bed on Monday morning and say, oh boy, another chance to go out and scrape up the money to pay my lousy bills. See, you don't do that. Usually you say, oh, not another Monday. And some people have so given up on life, they have joined the thank God it's Friday club. How sad. Surely those are the same people, when life is over for them, will say, thank God it's over. Let me just quickly give you a list of 4 emotions that can change your life in one day. Emotions are powerful. Sometimes it doesn't take much to alter your whole life direction. Number 1, disgust, powerful emotion. Disgust says, I have had it. See, that could be the day you can say, I've had it. And whether you've had it with something small or something major, the day you can say, I've had it, may not be the day it ends, but the day it begins. That's what I said when that little Girl Scout left my door when I'm 25. I give her the big lie, she leaves, I say, I don't want to live like this anymore. I've had it with lying and being broke. Powerful day. The man's finally had it with mediocrity. He's had it with being a loser. He's finally had it with those awful sick feelings inside, knowing his wife is at the grocery store looking at 2 cans of beans, one marked 37 cents, one marked 39 cents. And the guy sick inside knows his wife's going to buy the 37-cent can, and she doesn't even like the brand. Do you know why she's going to buy the 37-cent can? To save 2 cents. The guy sick inside finally says, I've had it. Being on my knees in the dust looking for pennies? We're not living like this anymore. Could be the day to turn your life around. The day you can say, I've had it. He walks into his closet and rips everything in it to shreds and says, I've worn this embarrassing stuff for the last. And not only will I never wear it again, no one else will ever wear it again. Commit an act that says, I've had it. Powerful. Here's the next one, decision. And decision making is powerful. And it's emotional. That's those knots in the pit of your stomach, right? Waking up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat, trying to decide. We sometimes call it inner civil war. What shall I do? Well, for progress, you must decide. The best advice I can give you came from a wealthy friend of mine who said, if it's easy, do it easy. If it's hard, do it hard. Just get it done. If you went home tonight and in the next few days cleaned up a whole list of decisions, that might furnish enough inspiration for the next 10 years. I found this out many times after you've decided. Getting on with it is easier than deciding. Sometimes decision is the toughest part. Here's the next emotion, desire, wanting to bad enough. And I don't know how to tell you to want to. That's something you've got to come up with. There's 2 things I know about desire. Number 1, it comes from inside, not outside. You don't send off for it. Number 2, I know desire can be triggered by something. Who knows what it might be? Sometimes desire waits and sleeps for something to happen. Maybe it's a book, maybe it's a song, maybe it's a sermon, maybe it's a lecture, a seminar, maybe it's the conversation of a friend, a happening, an event. Who knows? The best advice I can give you is what I give my staff. It goes like this: welcome every human experience. You never know which one is going to turn it all on. Even the bad experience. Sometimes from the bitterest experience comes the greatest awakening. So let down the barriers, take down the walls. The same wall that keeps out disappointment keeps out happiness. Let life touch you. Don't let it kill you, but let it touch you. Here's the last one. This one's powerful. Resolve. Resolve says I will. Two of the most powerful words in the language. I will. Benjamin Disraeli once said, nothing can resist a human will that will stake even its existence on the extent of its purpose. Shortly put, I'll do it or die. See, that's powerful. That could be the day that turns your life around. The world has a strange way of stepping aside when somebody says, I'll do it or die. The man says, I will climb the mountain. They've told me it's too high, it's too far, it's too rocky, it's too difficult, it's never been done before, but it's my mountain, I will climb it. Pretty soon you'll see me waving from the top. Or dead on the side, because I ain't coming back. The best definition I ever got from the word resolve came from a little junior high girl in Foster City, California, up north. I'm talking to the junior high kids one day. I love to ask kids definitions. They come up with beauty. I got to the word resolve and I asked, who can tell me what resolve means? And I got several hands, and they were all pretty good, but the last one was the best. Little girl, about 3 rows back, held up her hand. She said, Mr. Rohn, I think I know what resolve means. I said, darling, what do you think it means? She said, I think it means promising yourself you will never give up. I said, that's it. Webster, stand aside. That is the definition. Promise yourself you will never give up. I asked the kids, how long should a baby try to learn how to walk? How long? How long would you give your average baby before you shut him off? How long? See, any mother in the world would say, you're crazy. My baby's going to keep trying until it learns how to walk. What a magic formula. Now let me show you what triggers all emotions into activity that brings results. And results is the name of the game. Here it is. Action. Finally, you must do something about how you feel. Jesus, the master teacher, said, don't just be listeners, be doers. The world admires the doers.
Some of you are not successful because every single time you run up against a trial, every time you run up against a tribulation, you stop and you cut off beast mode. And what I'm here to tell you is, if you tell that thing, I'm here just like you here, and I promise you, I ain't leaving without the degree. I will not leave without that goal. I will not leave without that dream. I will not leave this university until I'm successful. I will not leave this job. I will not leave this client. I will not leave this opportunity until I get it. I invested too much. I invested too much to quit. I made too many sacrifices to give up. There's no way I'm not going to be successful because my motives are pure. There's nothing that can stop me because my motives are pure. And the purer your motives are, that you guarantee yourself success. When you're doing stuff for yourself, you can't guarantee it's going to blow up. If dreams were easy, everybody would make them happen. The problem is that most people, I watch most people, they can't get up in the morning. They ain't got no energy. I'm walking through the airport running almost. Most people that I'm with, they don't got the energy to keep up with me. I'm like, boo, ain't nothing wrong with you. You just ain't got the stamina. You just ain't got the energy. You can't smart everything. You can't outthink everything. Some stuff is just, you gotta be powerful. It's just some stuff that you gotta have stamina for. You just too slow. It just take you too long. You wake up, take you 3 weeks to do what it can take 24 hours to do. It don't make you a bad person, but you're gonna forever be average because to be great, you got to keep up.
Can you see? Can you see through the darkness? Can you see what's around you? Can you feel the emptiness? Can you feel the loneliness? Darkness is upon you. Darkness surrounds you. The darkness is trying to bring you down. The darkness is trying to take everything from you. But yet, you continue to push forward. Can you see? Do you understand what it means to stand alone. Can you see the light? It builds you up. Even when you think you're weak, you have a way to be strong. This is not the time to quit. This is not the time to give up. Yes, darkness is upon you. But there will come a time the sun will shine. Dawn is upon you now. Can you really see the light? Can you really understand the light within you? Your journey can be seen millions and millions of miles away because you traveled through the darkness. You fought through the darkness. You were down in the darkness. You cried in the darkness. You wandered in the darkness. It is time for you to welcome the light. This emptiness that you are feeling right now, it is only a temporary match, a temporary thing that is going on inside of you right now. It's only temporary, but it is necessary. It is necessary that you struggle. It is necessary that you feel alone. It is necessary that you have to continue to go forward. Nothing can stop this because that light has already been there. That light is embedded in you. That light exists in you. Dawn is coming. The sun is going to rise, and you will see the light within you. Build yourself up. Strengthen your mind. Strengthen your body. Strengthen your soul. And welcome the dawn. Darkness exists at this moment in your life. You're feeling like there's nothing that you can do. You feel that you have no power. You feel that you have no strength. Yet, you are walking through darkness. Can you see?
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable.
We have the power to shift from making excuses to creating results. You have the power to use today to make a choice to get really fit or to create the financial life that you want. You have the power to go out in the world and inspire people. You have the power to use your work as a chance to birth creativity into your world and to uplift other people. You have the power to do your part to change the world. And that's really what this video is about. It's about success. It's about doing genius level work. It's about making your dreams come true, and I want to give you some simple ideas on that. Number one, the number one reason we don't achieve success and we resign ourselves to mediocrity and we get swallowed into failure and discouragement, and it becomes sometimes so deep that we can't see the possibilities that our lives could be. I mean, your life doesn't have to be your current life 30 days from now, but most people can't see that. And the number one reason is this word called grit. Researchers say the number one defining factor of whether we become successful or average is whether we have grit. Grit is the ability to stay true to your vision and not dilute it when you get laughed at. Grit is the ability to try an innovation, experience failure, and to say, I'm going to continue and I'm actually going to learn and use that experience to get me closer on my path to the mountaintop. I mean, what the ordinary person sees as failure, the master simply sees as part of the process of refining your craft. So, number one, you've got to have grit. You've got to literally, when you get knocked down, force yourself to get back up, because then you start to develop a new brain. Yes, you develop a new neural pathway. Yes, you develop new muscle memory. And yes, you develop confidence. Remember that every time you get knocked down, it's an opportunity for you to develop more confidence, develop more experience, develop more inner power. Okay, every time you do something that you didn't feel like doing, like getting back up after you failed, or staying true to yourself after you've been laughed at or told it can't be done, literally, you become more powerful. And every single time you don't feel like persisting, and you do, you take back your power to the thing that you gave your resistance to. So number one, just think about grit. Number two, simply remember the incredible importance of your influences. I mean, you know this, you've heard me talk about this, I'm bringing it to you again so you remember. If you spend your days watching the news, playing with victims, being around people who gossip, being around people who spend their best hours in entertainment, on video games, too much TV, too much SMS, too much reading of trashy novels, then literally their beliefs and their behaviors will infuse your beliefs and your behaviors through what scientists call emotional contagion.